Your earlobes should be right above your shoulder line. Your shoulders should be pushed backwards. Your belly should be tucked in, chest forward, stand upright, stand tall. If you're trying to build a tower, it makes a lot of sense. Our body is not a tower. It is made to play between stability and mobility. You're listening to Your Moving Mind, the meeting point of movement and mindfulness, and everything in between. Move your mind, mind your movement, with your host, Michael Landau. Episode 30 of Your Moving Mind dives into the concept of posture. There are lots of ideas flying around about what a good posture is and what it looks like. And I think it could be a good idea to look into it a bit critically. We've talked about it before, and I'd like to talk to you about it again because it's kind of important. Posture. Good posture. Look it up in the internet and you'll find some serious websites of medical institutes that describe a good posture and tell you how to create it. I really have trouble with this kind of instructions. This is the general idea that you will find in different places. There are small variations. So your earlobes should be on top of, right above your shoulder line. Your shoulders should be pushed backwards. Your belly should be tucked in. Sometimes they say chest forward, stand upright, stand tall. This is about it. So if you're trying to build a tower, it makes a lot of sense. You want one block on top of the other in the most vertical way possible, as perfectly upright as possible. You don't want anything protruding in any direction, because anything that goes out of the straight upright vertical line will require some force to hold it in place, right? So the Pisa Tower that is inclined to one side now has to be held by very strong cords because it will fall over. You know gravity, we live with it, right? So it makes sense. If you think of the body as a tower, you want stability, you want to build it as upright as possible. You don't want anything protruding in any direction. The famous forward head position is ergonomically, it requires more force. You have to hold your head in place if it is forward. Makes sense, right? Okay, but the issue with this description is that our body is not a tower, and it is not built to be a tower. It is made to play between stability and mobility. A tower only needs stability. You want uprightness, you want verticality. Our body is supposed to move and respond to movement in the upright position or in any position. Maintain balance. So how do you do that? If you think of this upright position as it is described as the good posture, what is it really good for? When will you use it? Hardly ever, really. Maybe when you're walking or standing in a military drill. That would be a good moment to stand upright, push your head backwards, your shoulders backwards, tuck in your belly, and be very upright. It is not very useful in daily life. So if you think of that position when you try to do anything, especially things that challenge your balance, for example, skiing, surfboarding, skating, standing on a boat that moves a little, anything that challenges your balance a little bit requires some mobility and adjusting your shape to sustain your balance. You don't want this upright position, hardly ever. So what do we do with these instructions? So let's say you have a head forward position. You've been living for some years now, and you find that with time, you stoop forward a little bit in just the general way that you hold yourself. So yeah, it is less ergonomical, less economical energetically, because you have to invest some muscle force to hold your head in place. So there is some tension, constant tension in the muscles of your back, which creates rigidity because they have to hold your head constantly. Yeah, it's not optimal. What do you do with this? Do you follow the instructions and push your head backwards so that your earlobes are behind, just above your shoulders? What you're doing is just adding some more effort to the effort that you're already making. Not very useful, really. So how do you improve your posture? So I think of it, again, as a dynamic thing. Feldenkrais thought about it many years ago. He hated the word posture and coined an alternative term, acture, which is the way you hold yourself for action, not as a fixed position. This puts it in a whole different scope of thinking. So this is how I think about it. If you want to improve your posture, what you need to do more than anything is improve your mobility, not the fixed position, not any fixed position whatsoever. And what I find most useful is improving the chest mobility, because the chest is the bit that gets a little tired with age. It is not really the neck. So if you have a head forward position, it is your chest, the upper back that is a little rounded. Your neck is actually shortened because you still want your gaze to be at eye level and not look at your feet. So if you round your neck, you just look down at your feet at the floor, which is something that we need to do sometimes if you want to see what where we're putting our feet. So it's actually the upper back that is a little rounded, and then the neck is shortened. So if you improve the mobility of the chest, the natural mobility that it has, forward and backwards, flexion and extension, side bending, turning, make it better, improve the range of movement, the freedom of movement. If you have more mobility, the midpoint that you choose at any given moment for whatever activity you're in, so if you're just standing upright, you find a midpoint that feels like you're not doing anything. And that is a choice that we make, our nervous system makes. We don't make it consciously, but it is a choice because it changes from moment to moment depending on our position, and it will change over time if you change the way you move, if you improve your chest mobility, and especially flexion and extension, which decide where the head is in relation to the rest of the body, to what's below it. So where your head is a choice, somewhere in between flexion and extension. And when you have flexion and extension improved easy with a good range, the midpoint, the point where you feel like you're not doing anything, will change and will probably be closer to the optimal. Not because you're making an effort to put it there, but because you make better choices, because you have more mobility available at your disposal. So think of that when you sense yourself and when you think about good posture. Don't try to make a good posture. Improve your mobility over time, and your posture will improve.